I'm gonna talk about something. In the past, I've mentioned I feel like I had some download kind of stuff going on when I grew up. Whether you want to say that has to do with unusual things that happened involving UFOs or whatnot, that's up to you. I'd be the judge of that yourself. But me personally, I don't know what to say. I have to say I assume so. Yeah. I had some situations. I don't want to go into that in detail right now. Oh, I don't want to go into that in detail right now. But I do want to stay on the thread here. Like a long time ago, I just assumed it was my own thoughts, and this is how I came up with I have an AI specimen already before our AI. Okay, AI specimen already, and I was downloading some stuff, and it was probably due to a visit on a UFO that I couldn't understand the situation because I don't remember any after that. So don't even remember seeing the craft on one occasion. But anyway, um, it displaced me, put me down, like Travis Walton, like Fire in the Sky. What can I say? I mean, yeah, it was actually exactly similar. It's like, oh yeah, let's test his walking capability and let's put him over here instead of where we picked him up at. I got the scanner on. It's in another county outside of the state, Peoria. I got Peoria City Dispatch on right now. Because a long time ago, before I go into the thread though, when we were in Peoria going through there, we saw me and my mom rather. Okay, we saw somebody like attacking a woman and kind of grabbing her and forcing her into a car. And my mom was like so lackadaisical about that. She was like, "Oh well, we don't want to get in any kind of trouble. We're not near a phone. Let's just go." I was like, "Mom, Jesus fucking Christ! It's a woman being pretty much, who knows, possibly about to get raped. What is your problem?" Anyway, so excuse my pink and yellow cup, but it is the best one I got, and I don't know. I don't like it. I guess as you could say, it's a margarita kind of color. So technically, you could drink a margarita out of this. So let's go into the thread. Okay, so a long time ago, I remember coming up with a bunch of thoughts, and they were a little too fast for me to keep up with. So what I was doing was I was trying to analyze the situation, from my perspective, which is, hey, what the fuck is this overload of interest in something you're not good at, which is physics, dynamics, stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know, why am I thinking this shit? I know I'm pretty creative, but why am I thinking shit outside of my fucking ability? So I tried to figure it out over years, and I just kind of did. I came to a agreement that shit is not. And I apologize. Maybe I should put this mic in. It'll sound better. So hold on a second. Sometimes I do forget to do that quite often. Try this mic. Does that sound a little better? Does this mic sound a little better? Testing, testing. All right. So anyway, I already knew the configuration more or less of a jet engine when I looked at it, from the manifold descriptions and stuff like that. When I was younger, and I just kind of said, well, I know what's going on there. The compressing, micro compression is what's going on there. And so what I came up with was an idea to combine micro compression jet engine with a new kind of jet engine, which is a dual functioning. It's not just to make the fucking air come out. It also has what I call a large compression surface area addition to it. So it actually, after taking a lot of oxygen, burn a shitload of fuel. That's the scanner from another Peoria, Illinois. So my dog's barking downstairs too. So what happened was I said, well, if you combine micro compression with macular compression, and one comes out already as a stream of um, chaotic micro compression wind that is combed through a bunch of what are known as the compression blades, and I came up with a new idea a long time ago. Now, this new part of the thought came to me just now, and it was like, hey, you forgot, you left out this information, so now I'm grabbing that. This particular design of this engine, it does make micro compression, and then but it uses different kinds of what do you call compression blades. Instead, the compression blades in this thing are on one side they're waved, and on the other like little mound or depressions and mounds, and on the other side of the blade it is choreographed ribbed style. So what happens is it causes an extra micro fraction, extra micro compression, what I would call dynamic distribution at a micro level, and it kind of forms the wind a little better as it comes out after it's been, combusting and blowing out with all that extra compression. So it just adds to the compression that's already there from the original design of a jet engine, but it's not an original because the blades are designed different. All right, once the wind goes through this engine, and it does burn a shitlock load to take off, I would say about 3 times the fuel of a normal large jet that carries passengers. All right, it would take a lot of fuel to fucking get it lifted first, because well, it wouldn't actually. It just depends on what kind of design you got, because you could also have one that takes off with the compression, all that shit in action. But the truth is, when you take these off, you really just want to start off with a not too fast of a spinning ball, just a slow spinning ball, and you just clutch on top of it. Okay. Now that's the feature of this jet engine. It has a hollow wing design that looks like rabbit ears, or vertical. Not out like a planes do, like that. They're vertical, like stabilizers. But inside the wind is going through and being compressed with those different kind of compression blades. Then it gets poured into a big chamber inside that hollow wing, and it hits one corner of the back and starts spinning even faster in a macro ball. Then it gets compressed into a partial macro ball at the top, because it cones out like that, causing even more compression on a different level. And then it, gets batted out the bottom. And when it does, it just takes off like a fucking helicopter, guys. All right? Now, the thing wouldn't be the great fucking for anything to be around like fucking plant material and stuff like that when you're landing them, because unlike a helicopter, all that shit will get caught up inside the spinning ball and get spun out like a tornado. So you don't want to do that. So you would actually have to have specific places to take off and land, like an airport with no debris in the area, like on a rooftop or something, to land them, because they'd just be a little bit way too chaotic. A good thing about it is, there has been some, what I would call, and I'm not a Scientologist, all right? Don't call me a Scientologist. I'm a warlock. It's different. Scientology, I don't agree with, well, I just don't follow that shit. I'm a warlock. I don't follow their shit. Okay. Now, what was I going to say? Like, what's that guy's name? I fucking forgot the actor, but oh my God. Anyway, in the movie where they predict people killing people, that movie, I forget what it is. Tom Cruise, that's it. That fucking thing they show take off out of there is the inside of what I'm talking about. It's not quite, it's just a science fiction movie, but it has similar properties. It's kind of like a triangular upside down canoe that's, got a lot of more canoe to it. It's basically a guitar pick shape, a stone guitar pick shape, but a little fatter at the bottom, like teardrop. Now the engines come through, and they go and they're attached to those things. Now those things can go up and down, this way, that way, that way, that way. They can turn in various kinds of ways. They got, they're just like manipulating. You can manipulate them so that you can fly the thing way easier and shit. So in other words, when you're flying it, you have to push the ball to the side. Maybe it's and kind of like ride a turn, and then you got to just keep it there in that placement, and it'll stay. But the vehicle itself, if you look at it, it would have like guitar stone picks with an engine attached.
be like guitar stone picks with an engine attached. And you can point them down like a helicopter and just take off like that. Now, of course, you got to keep the spinning macro wind underneath the plane for the most part when you're flying, and if you're going fast in it, you just have to lean a lot more than a helicopter. A lot more than a helicopter you have to lean. You have to lean about like that to go like, like a fucking 500, 700 miles an hour. And of course, it goes faster. It would go faster because what you could do to that engine, you could use nitro injection into that compression theme at the end, where it's kind of like tweaking the already compressed micro compressions, and then you can add the fuel to the nitro and create what you call like a vibrating pulse engine, so that when it comes out, it's even titillated a little more using wind dynamics by doing that. Because now it's not just fucking, it's just like a goddamn wind dynamics machine. Okay, guys? And it's called a hollow wing design. I made it up a long time ago. Now, the reason why I brought this up is because a lot of people don't get it with me. They think that I don't know shit. I am uneducated to a certain degree. I mean, I do know how to speak. I taught myself how to speak, because I couldn't even pay attention to the teacher. So I kind of just went home and studied English just enough to talk. I didn't even care about my grades. But anyway, that design is cool because you can, and then you can, when you ignite that shit and you cause it to vibrate, the compression explosions pulsing out while the spinning ball is that, when you get it going that hot, running the thing, that's the turbo on that fucking thing. When you get it running that hot, it's turbo. But it starts out, it's just more or less, general injection of fuel and microdynamic wind fluctuations, compression. That's what it is. Just thought I'd do this video, guys. Don't want